Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I don't have much to share from today. We didn't really end up doing a whole lot. I actually took a nap because I was tired. And it should be interesting because I'll tell you guys what's going on tomorrow and how I'll probably end up actually being more tired tomorrow than I am today. But, yeah, not a whole ton. I ended up getting up around 9 o'clock. I think we ended up having our church service. I think it started like 10 o'clock, and I actually think I got to 2 loads of laundry today. I did a load of dishes, but not too much else for today. I watched the Cubs game actually after the like not too long after the church service, and then ended up coming in my room and watched I Love Lucy. So I didn't end up doing a whole ton. I did do my German lesson. I actually spent a long time doing that today because I felt like last week I sort of slacked a little bit and was only doing like a little bit. Like I did a couple new lessons, but I didn't feel like I went back and did a lot of the review especially. And like a lot of times I've been going back and doing like a lot of review like per day. And last week I did not. So today I was like, I'm really gonna try and get, like work on like a lot of that. So I spent at least probably a good like half an hour to maybe almost an hour in total today doing that also. Because like I said, I was just like, I really need to try and like, you know, get some of that like taken care of because like I said, I felt like last week, even though I was like doing the bare minimum really for like 2 or 3 weeks, I was sort of just like doing the bare minimum, sort of just like still practice it at least, so it wasn't like I was just like I'm gonna take like 2 weeks off or whatever. I was still practicing, but I wasn't like really doing like that much. And so like I said, today I ended up getting a lot of the practice sort of in. But, so tomorrow, guys, like I said, I am most likely, I went to bed sort of, not super late last night. It is just about midnight right now, but like I said, I took a nap and like I'm already still tired. So I was like, this is probably a really good time to go to bed. However, Jack, now that football is over, he is all like, I want to start getting in, you know, like in football shape. And, you know, I think he realized that like sitting, you know, for the whole pandemic and everything like that, and you know, not really getting out and doing anything, you know, like him, and I know that probably a lot of the kids that were playing football this spring would probably say the same thing, was that like conditioning and stuff like that, you know, they were just thinking exhausted, you know. And like I said, when you're used to not like also having the football season so much later, you know, instead of in the fall and the spring this year, you know, having it so much later is also such a weird thing. And so, you know, like the kids are all sort of, you know, also coming off of that hibernation mode from like winter and stuff like that too. So it's not like, oh, you know, there was summer and we had summer camp leading up to it and all that kind of stuff. It was, you know, you kind of came off winter and all of that holiday food and all that kind of stuff too, and just not being able to leave the house because one, there's a pandemic, and two, it's also winter and we had a horrible winter with tons of snow, so you really couldn't even go outside and like get exercise or anything like that. Like it stunk. And then going straight into a football season, like I said, just, you know, shortly after the snow had finally all sort of left and it all melted down, you know, going right into that was kind of, you know, like you're not prepared for that. Like I said, you are a lot of times more in like the fall because they have the summer camp, which is, you know, doing a lot of the conditioning and like all that kind of stuff. And they had the summer camp last year, but it was in the summer, and they didn't start this year's football season until spring, which almost didn't happen, but they were able to still get it in, you know, instead of in fall, in the spring. But again, sort of weird because of that. So, and they didn't, I think it was only like a once or maybe twice a week thing that they did sort of like over the summer, or like I feel like it was maybe like early fall or something like that, that they ended up doing it. But like I remember telling you guys about it, I just don't exactly remember when it was. But it was sort of like, because they weren't doing the football season in the fall though, but they were still able to do like some of the practice sort of like pre-football stuff like they do in the summer during the summer camps. So anyways, even though like Jack only has, I think, up until like the second week of June that they have school, you know, and then most likely after that they'll go into doing summer camp, but he really wants to start getting into, you know, sort of like as much football shape and, you know, doing like weightlifting, which he can do here because my dad has got like a home gym in the garage pretty much. We got him that workout, the bench, for Christmas, and he has a bunch of different like the dumbbell thingies, but the ones you can like twist off, and he's got like a bar and with weights and, like I said, a bunch of other stuff too. So, but again, Jack wants to do that and also like eat healthier food, more protein, more, you know, less carbs and less Pop-Tarts and that kind of stuff was what he was saying. And then he really wants to try and eat like, you know, healthier stuff, eggs instead of, you know, maybe, you know, frozen pancakes or waffles or something like that. And so I told him, I was like, I will help you come up with that, because you guys might have seen a while ago. Because it was like, I think it was 2017, that one time when I came back for couponing for a short period of time up until my grandma ended up passing away. But during that time I was doing a ton of meal prep stuff for myself. So like I sort of get the gist of like, you know, this is the kind of stuff that you're gonna sort of need, and you know, maybe you do a salad, and like normally this kind of stuff does not taste good cold, especially if you can't warm it up, you know, like, so I have, again, some ideas, and I've done the meal prep process. So I was sort of helping my dad with that too, because he's all like, oh, I really want to do that too. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll help you guys. So, and just coming up with ideas too, also like what are healthier things to eat and things that Jack actually likes to eat too, because so in our one cabinet we have all the mason jars filled up with like nuts and dried fruits, and so I had Jack taste test one of like everything, and the only thing that he really came up with that he really loved was, I think he said banana chips were okay, but he really loved, or not loved I guess, but he really liked peanuts. Like didn't really like anything else. My dad likes peanuts, cashews, and and what's that other thing? Pistachios. I will eat any kind of nut pretty much. I'm not actually a huge fan though of dried bananas. Like banana chips, I like them sometimes, but and also sort of dried fruit in general. I like dehydrated strawberries, but like I'm not a huge fan of like dried pineapple. I just feel like sometimes it's too chewy. Like I said, we were sort of going through that one time, and so like I know some of the stuff that he again does like to eat, and it is a little tough because he is a little bit more of a picky eater. He doesn't like a ton of vegetables. He really will sort of eat almost, I'm not gonna say any fruit. He really doesn't like melon, and he doesn't like berries except for strawberries. He loves strawberries, but blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries are sort of out of the question, and he doesn't like any melon. He cannot stand watermelon. I don't think he really likes cantaloupe or honeydew either. Like no melon is really his thing. I don't think he really likes pineapple either. But as far as like, he'll eat bananas, apples, oranges, like I said, strawberries, but also as far as vegetables go, he will eat lettuce. He hates tomatoes. He likes carrots, but I don't think that he likes broccoli or celery, or cauliflower. And I think that's sort of it. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff in there that I know he doesn't really like that much. And so it's kind of, like I said, tough to figure it out. Like my dad will pretty much eat anything. He's not a huge fan, I don't think, of blackberries or raspberries. And he also does not like watermelon at all, but he doesn't mind cantaloupe and honeydew that much. As far as everything else, my dad will pretty much eat, I think, almost any kind of fruit and vegetable for the most part. He doesn't like water chestnuts, and I don't think he really likes, that's normally out of a can, but I know that's one thing my dad can't stand. That, oh, pineapple. Pineapple's the other thing my dad can't stand. Like I said, you could literally feed my dad dog food I think there was one time he actually ate it out of a can on camera or like sort of taste tested it. But he will sort of eat anything. There's a couple things that he doesn't like. He doesn't really like water chestnuts. He doesn't really like pineapple, like pineapple on ham, or like, you know, like doing like a Hawaiian pizza or mixed into like a casserole thing or something like that. He won't eat pineapple, and like I said, he doesn't like watermelon, and he is not a fan of mushrooms or, like I said, water chestnuts really. He'll still eat it if it's like mixed in with something, like I said, like water chestnuts in a casserole, or like, you know, what's it called, pineapple in a casserole or something like that. Or probably, I add mushrooms to a lot of stuff and he doesn't really seem to mind it. I think he just doesn't go out of his way to like eat them or anything like that. You know, if there was like an omelet bar and they were like, do you want mushrooms? He'd probably be like, no, I'm okay. So, you know, like I said, there's things that he'll sort of just like doesn't really like that much, but if they're already in there, he won't like, you know, be like, oh, I can't eat that because it has that thing in there. So like I was saying, my dad is not like a picky eater at all. There's like I said, those are probably the only things I think that my dad doesn't like, but again, we'll still eat them if like that's what's for dinner and they're mixed in with something else too. Jack, however, will pretty much pick stuff out that he doesn't like. Like if there is a broccoli rice casserole, you know, like a chicken broccoli rice casserole, he'll pick the broccoli out. Like if it was like, you know, pineapple for my dad, he'd still eat it because it's mixed in there. But Jack is like, you know, like I said, he will specifically go in there and pick this stuff out if he doesn't like it. So again, it is a little bit trickier. However, on top of that too, I was like, well, because I think I was telling you guys also, Jack's school schedule is a little weird. They don't actually start until 9:15, I think. They're like on the like late start schedule, I think was what my dad was sort of saying, or possibly thought. Like, but for the rest of the school year, and I don't know why that is, or if it has to do with COVID or the fact that they were also e-learning earlier in the school year, so they were like, let's just adjust it so that the, you know, the kids aren't, you know, because they wouldn't actually have school until noon, or like 11 or something like that on e-learning days. Like the earlier time in the day was for them to get stuff taken care of or to contact teachers and all that kind of stuff. But like Jack, if he finished his homework the night before, he wouldn't have to get up till his first class started, which like I said was noon. So I don't know if that was also why they were like, oh, I guess we'll just start it now instead, like the late start schedule, so we're not making kids have to adjust crazily for, you know, like most of the last pretty much year they haven't been having to wake up, you know, or some of them haven't really had to. So I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if it also has to do with like, you know, if they have less time in school, less of a chance for, you know, coming into contact with somebody that might have it or whatever. I don't entirely know, but for whatever reason they are having the classes start. I think they start at actually I think 9:45. Jack like wants to leave by like 9:15 so he can get there with like, you know, enough time to drive over there, and then that was what he wanted to do on Friday, just so he could get to his classes and make sure he knew where stuff was. But they also don't have lockers this year either, so they're not allowed to go to like their lockers. Like I think it's also supposed to help prevent them from like hanging around and stuff like that, but they have to bring all of their stuff with them for every single class, which I think stinks. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I know that they're doing sort of weird and sort of different this year, but it's also sort of a weird and different time right now. So, but again, he might actually wind up leaving at like 9:20 or something, or 9:25 or 9:30, because actually I think the class doesn't start maybe until either 9:45 or 9:55, something like that. So anyways though, I was like, well, if we get up early enough in the morning, especially to do like a cardio workout, because he's gonna do like weightlifting when my dad does it when he gets home from work, like they're gonna do it together, I think. And so, but I was like, well, why don't we in the morning before you have school, since again, you can get up, you know, like 7 or 8 o'clock and still have a lot of time, you know, where he normally takes a shower at night, so he doesn't have to take one in the morning. Like he will have probably a good amount of time. I was like, why don't we get up in the mornings and actually do like a power walk or a jog, you know, something sort of like that. because not only that, I feel like I sit around on my behind a little bit too much and need to, you know, get out of the house and do some exercising as well. So I was like, I will go with you and do it, you know, also. And I was thinking that we can sort of just walk down to the park, which is actually 2 blocks away from our house, sort of walk down there and then just sort of like circle back around and then come back to our house, which when me and my friend did it, we used to go walking sort of like the same path. It was normally, I think honestly we could do it in like 15 minutes to like a half an hour or something like that. But it's close to, I think like where we would walk to with me and Jack might walk a little bit shorter, but it was like just shy of a mile, I think, there and back. So I was like, that's a really good, like, you know, workout, you know, especially in the morning too, just to sort of get you set on the right track and the right pace for the day and all that kind of stuff. Not only that, I think it's just mentally will also help a lot too, in the focus and just a good start to your day. So I was like, you know, why don't we just do that? It doesn't have to be like a crazy jog in the morning or, you know, sprinting, running a mile, all that kind of stuff. I was like, but just the fact of like getting our heart rates up, getting cardio in, that kind of thing in the morning. So again, Jack was like, I'll try and wake you up at 7 a.m. and I was like, okay, you can try and wake me up at 7 if he wants to, again, try and get, you know, his things sort of taken care of and all that kind of stuff in the morning before, then we can go do, again, shouldn't take us more than a half hour and then back again. You know, we can just sort of carve that time out, but again, it's 7 o'clock between then and, you know, that's 2 hours pretty much that he could have in the morning, but my alarms don't go off until 8 o'clock. So I was like, okay, you can try and wake me up. I can maybe like get up and get out of bed or whatever, at least be conscious enough to, you know, be awake at that point, and then sort of like get dressed, put makeup on, all that kind of stuff. But it's also, today is supposed to be one of the last colder days, I think. We're supposed to then get really nice, like 70-degree weather and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be really nice. Like, I think tomorrow's supposed to be like 73 or something. So again, it might still be cold out in the morning, but just the fact that it's going to start warming up is really nice also, that we can get in some more of those early morning sort of, you know, warmer weather now walks where there might not be, hopefully no frost on the ground outside anymore, you know, in the mornings. So yeah, we'll see how tomorrow turns out, if I get up early enough, and all that kind of stuff. But I want to make sure he still has time to do his like morning stuff, eat his food, all that kind of thing, and then we can go and do a walk or whatever. And again, if maybe we have to make it a little bit shorter for the first time or something like that, just because of, you know, we have to figure out the timing. I don't want to be like, okay, yeah, it's fine, we can go now at 8:30, and then be like, oh my gosh, it took us 45 minutes or something like that, and you should be like leaving for school right now. So anyways, yeah, tomorrow we're gonna probably start that, just do some good, like, you know, just a light sort of, you know, cardio workout in the morning, and then, you know, that can always, he can always do it in another sort of more high intensity cardio workouts, like in the afternoons as well. But that's just really what cardio is just sort of getting your heart rate up. If that is power walking, jogging, running, jump roping, trampoline jumping, like any of that kind of stuff that gets your heart rate up, just regular jumping, dancing, that is all stuff that's really good. So you know, like I said, that's, he can sort of, I guess, pick and choose any of those things either that he wants to do. But like, my dad got a special like workout jump rope too, but I was like, you know, we can achieve sort of a similar goal by doing like an early morning, again, power walk sort of thing. Or, you know, again, even if we get comfortable to a point, we can start jogging. But I was like, right now, there's no way on earth I'm gonna be able to jog. I was like, maybe for like 5 minutes, that is gonna be about it. So yeah, I thought it, like I said, it'd be really good for me. But again, on top of that too, there hasn't been nice weather. We've had feet of snow. We can't really do anything outside. It's even hard to get out to the garage to get into the workout area out there or anything like that. We don't have a treadmill or anything. Like, there's nothing else that can really do to get, you know, like I said, up off my behind. And now that the weather is nice, I don't mind going for, you know, like I said, a nice early morning walk and all of that. So, and hopefully see some birds too, guys. I love to see birds in the morning. Anyways, I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.